In the top right side, we have the Frenchman in the red colors. He's playing Terran. He's playing for Team Liquid. It is Clem.
Unfortunately, we don't get the cute panda or polar bear sticking his tongue out on North America servers. Makes me very sad. Bottom left-hand corner, ladies and gentlemen, from Dragon Phoenix Gaming. He is the one, the only smiling assassin. His name is Hero. And the carpets are back.
Yep. And a nice pillowcases. Softening for the tush of the command center.
Yes. I mean, actually, if you look at the bottom of the ramp, they even have like these little goblets with some sort of like, I assume that's ambrosia,
yep.
obviously. You know, nectar of the gods. So yeah, wow, really treating these Nexi well.
They've done it a proper job. I think it's even double folded there in the middle, so you get extra comforts.
Yeah. I will say though, you know, when you get to that one low ground base, that one's kind of like, you know, it's just a little pedestal. That's not really.
It's like
that's not really comfortable,
isn't it? It's like what's the meaning of this hole here? Why? I mean, it would make sense for a hedge. Never mind.
Do you often question the purpose of toilet holes, Kozan?
Well, if it's built underneath a building, I'm wondering, you know, it's it's where the sewage drains goes here for the command center, I suppose.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think that seems the most practical. Yeah. I'd be more concerned if it was just out there, a random hole.
Well, you know, you got to be curious about holes now and again. You'll discover a lot of things. Anyway, Reaper coming across the map. Let's organize this back onto StarCraft to focus instead of my weird, peculiar reasonings with toilet seats. Let's see what our Reaper will be seeing so far. Not too much. We're going Sentry first, which is well, potentially here for a bit of scouting. Potentially here for a bit of force fielding later down the line. But most of the main things that it does is, of course, secure you with good insights, having those hallucinations here in the early game. Or if Hellions try to run by, right? Fantastic tool to kind of shut that down quite quickly with a single force field.
Yeah, and Hero and Clem are two players that actually don't have a really long history. They played one series in 2016 before Hero went to military service, and then since then have played only 8 matches. And of those 8, it has been a 77% win rate for Hero. But they've only played 3 best-of-5s. This is actually the 4th best-of-5.
Does it say how long ago those matches were as well? Was it before his before military? You mean, right? Is that what you said?
The first time they played was in 2016.
Right.
They played one best-of-3, which Hero won, and then the next time was in 2021.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it's mostly been Hero. Historically has had Clem's number, and I think that does make sense just when you look at how these play styles match up. You know, Clem obviously likes to play very aggressive in this matchup, but you're going up against a Protoss player who is kind of the king of aggression and kind of messing with his opponent.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Clem scouted. He scouted the wrong side. Hero, you. Oh my god! 10,000 IQ points to Hero here. My goodness! What a clever little man, isn't he?
And oh my god!
You can just see him smiling in the booth, right? Well, at home this time around, I just have this mental image now, like.
He's got his goblin crouch. He's like playing the game furiously, laughing to himself. He's like, they have no idea.
Man, this is heartbreaking for Clem, you know, after scouting for it, and then it's on the other side of the minerals. He's not going to be able to get the gas this way, but, you know, those minerals are nice, especially if you want to go with the heavy gateway style, which is what Hero likes to do, so Widowmine's not going to get much done.
Yeah. No, this has been really good by Hero. He's denied all scouting information. Widowmines haven't been able to dive in. Another Widowmine drop heading out. This is very cool here, though. Clem with the double Widowmine drop. You don't usually see this, and so I don't think Hero's going to have Stalkers ready in the main base. He's going to be worried about this one medevac stuck between the natural and the third base location, but that gold base, I mean, this is quintessential Hero. You love to see it. Yep. Whenever there's a gold base, he knows what to do. He knows how to make these games fun, and so obviously We're expecting to see a really big gateway force off this hero.
Oh, took a while for those Widow Mines to drop out, but
yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe then the reaction for Hero would have been quicker, right? Maybe he was just waiting to see what was coming out. If it was Hellions or Widow Mines.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit quicker there for Clem, and maybe could have found a bit more damage, but so far just 2 probes going down. The investment of, 2 medevacs and a lot of Widow Mines. Clem bringing this medevac back, if he does bring it back to his main base, might be able to scout the mining. I mean, right now he knows there's no third base in that kind of right position from the natural.
Yeah.
And so I think that kind of should be a giveaway, especially now scouting that the third base is only just now building. Clem has to know that something's up. That's a very late third for a Protoss. Something is going on here, but he doesn't really know what it is. If you're looking at the information that he has, all he has seen is a few gateways, the Twilight Council, and the forge that was building.
Yep. He's going to come out here with still quite a similar thing as we saw Kjør do against Zoun. With the 2 siege tanks here, formidable amount of bio, and the +1 attack, Stimpack and Combat Shield all about to line up nicely here. Wait, he's just setting up in the front. I thought he was going to try to move across, but maybe he's just feeling uncertain about the situation here. I think a move across would have been pretty substantial here for Hero to try and deal with. Regarding that, he's trying to already build a 4th base here. But that's of course not on Clem's radar, right? That's the pity about the situation.
Yeah, the risk of it always is the fact that when you don't know what your opponent is doing, they could be ready for something like that. And if they clean up that push and then suddenly you're in a really bad position. Now this Marine, okay, seize the probes. Clem now knows that there is in fact a base mining here, and that is, I mean, massive for Clem. Now he's going to move out the army. He realizes he needs to shut this down. There is a high ground location that he can take advantage of with his tank. Stalkers are already out. Recall is going to be used for the rest of the army. Hero's just going to fight this straight up. I mean, this is about as crazy as it's going to get. Colossus, I mean, the hallucination has been seen. Scan as well is going to reveal that. As now the tank going to start to fire away. Charge is not done just yet. Zealots are not ready. The income is massive for Hero, and those are some good force fields. But he's not been able to really build this advantage and compound it yet. There's already 6 probes going down.
Whoa, more probes hit by a Widow Mine in a natural base. Clem finding some damage there. Now he can just kind of retreat, I believe. Be okay with this situation, but oh boy, that's a big blink. That is a big blink. That's going to shut down most of these bio units as well as those medevacs. Does Clem still have enough to kind of stop this Protoss army at some point?
I don't know.
Okay, more reinforcements is coming in. He should have enough now.
Yeah, probes have to be pulled though.
Another whopping of Zealots coming in from behind, however.
Oh, that's not a lot.
Yeah, still not enough.
Yeah, Clem handling that very, very well. Nudity just need to pull the SCVs. 5 of them have gone down. A few more are going to fall before these Stalkers do blink away. But Ghost's already on the way here for Clem. Zealot run by actually picking up a lot more. 11 SCVs now falling. And mind you, this is a 4-base Protoss, but it has been slowed down by that Widow Mine hit. As you said, bringing Hero, I mean, really far down. 16 probes fell in that engagement. And so overall, it ends up being a very good trade here for Clem. Storm is on the way, +2, but those are not ready just yet. And Clem, I think he's just going to keep on the pressure. I mean, he has Ghosts. I don't know if you want to let Hero keep mining from this gold, but he does kind of have to because this Port Prism is being annoying.
It is being annoying, but he's still going to try to make that move forwards here, leaving some units behind, I imagine, but not that many. A big warp-in could be troublesome. How many gateways do we have? 9. Looks like some of them has just been used to try and get High Templars here. Storm not ready.
Oh, no Storm.
Oh dear. EMP's already landing on top of those High Templar as well. A little bit still remaining. The Warp Prism inactive so far above the main base.
Yeah, Hero's just going to abandon it.
Yeah. I think that's the best choice. He's gotten quite a lot out of that already, right? Can we see how many minerals? This is like 900, so he's gotten like almost half of everything here. Half of that base is, well, actually, the big minerals. Okay, so he got a fair chunk. He really did get a fair chunk.
Yeah, I mean, 4th base coming down now for Hero once again. He's down about 40 supply, and Clem has just been, I mean, again, this is the playstyle, as you said, that we saw from Kjør. It's just so many army units. It's just so much pressure that the Terran is able to exert off of these. I mean, right now, it's just been 3 racks. Or 5 racks for Clem is going up to 8. And has been able to find massive success with it. I don't really know if Hero actually wants to fight this. I mean, Yeah, there's a lot of bio, and you got Storm, but I think it's only on, what, 4 High Templars? Storm drop? Actually, ooh, that's a lot of damage.
Makes Clem reconsider his path forwards, and instead finds a lot of probes here. So that's quite nice for him. Be careful with that Warp Prism. Widow Mines in the ground could just one-shot it now from this point onwards. EMPs and Widow Mines laying fire onto the first incoming Zealots. And I think Hero's kind of stable here, right? It feels okay now.
I mean, I don't know. It's 130, 140 supply to 180. Clem has just been non-stop on this just army. I mean,
yeah,
the SCV count is good. He's at 75. He's happy with that.
That's a fair point. I was making the comment directly to that one engagement there. There was feeling like it was about to happen. But no, yeah, you're right. Clem is in quite a tremendous position.
Oh. Yeah, the angle's not the best. Clem does just back up, though, and you see how hard this is for the Protoss, as this drop is going to find its way to the 4th base. That's going to be knocked down. Hero, I mean, he essentially needs to end the game now. Storms go down. Ooh, cancels the morph there into the Archon, but look at this. The Storms get so much damage, and Hero finds an incredible fight. He's still down about 10, 20 supply. But I felt like there was no way for that to happen, but that last Storm just got so much damage.
Suddenly, those Archons starting to hit down all the low HP Maroons and Marauders, starting to one-shot them as they were still kind of clumped up, and things started snowballing rather rapidly, and now he's on top of the production almost, at least some of it, partially. SCVs are going to have to get pulled, but there are the Zealots to meet them. And that's not the fight those SCVs want to be trying to take here. Widow Mines getting sniped out before they hit the ground. Oh boy, this could be nasty. Widow Mine once again a bit of a misfire on the other side of the map. We do have some success here from a raid of Clem, but my goodness.
Oh, the warp in. Yeah, I mean, these reinforcements should actually be able to find the Warp Prism. These High Templars don't have enough energy for the Storm. It needs to get out. It's not quite going to get sniped. It picks up the High Templars. Oh, how does Hero do it?
Yeah.
This is absolutely insane. He was down 40 supply, but he finds a miracle fight. He's going to lose a lot here in the main as the reinforcements come through. But mind you, behind this, he's killed 45 SCVs. Hero is still at 64. He can long distance mine, and he's got these warpers coming through.
Okay. 3 Nexus have been killed off in total in this game, though, however. Hero's still a little bit in a dire situation with his own income here across the map. He doesn't have his storms set up. Oh,
storms make it so hard.
Yeah, my goodness, there we go. It was enough. It was enough. GG is called. Clem loses game number 1 as Hero somehow, some way finds a miraculous fight there on Clem's front yard and just pushes Clem all the way back to his main base, killing everything on its path.
All right, Babylon. I don't believe we've seen this map just yet so far. Most players have saved it for later in the map pool, and we haven't really gotten there because it's been all 3-0 sweeps. But we got some nice destructible rocks. You know, the usuals here to kind of close out some of these attack paths. Makes it so you have to wind around a little bit, move through some choke points. And interesting that we are seeing Hero though actually go for a low ground wall off.
I'm sorry, I just guys, I mean, don't get too upset about balance here, all right? We're here for a charity. I know you're all salty about your ladder games earlier this morning, all right? But let's try to put those out of your head and just all right? I am going to be putting out timeouts because it's getting a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, that was Hero. that was not Protoss. That was Hero doing Hero things, and man, yeah, it was absolutely crazy how Hero pulls that out. And you know, sometimes you see wins like that, and it reminds me of like Maru. You know, when Maru's down 40 supply in a TPT and he manages to come back, except Hero says, I don't even need to play the macro game. No, I'm just gonna actually fight you while I'm 40 supply down and win the fight. And yeah, I mean, it's just, I think you can tell that Clem wasn't really expecting it. He had his army clumped up. He wasn't ready for the storm and the fight. And
Yeah, a lot
meant
of ways
Hero...
that still could have gone Clem's way, right? Like, either he didn't get hit by the storms as heavily, or he took that fight from a different engagement. His army was already set up with the planetary, for example, right? Then you never have that position where he feels forced to run through storms, right? So it's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. And that just kind of works out there for Hero, and he found those things quite neatly. Right, because that's it's something that might get overlooked quite quickly. Just the positioning there, that was... I don't know exactly how Hero got himself in that place, and how Clem found himself just, you know, forced to push into that, but that's what Hero does to you.
Oh man, the Adept. Not quite able to get those 2 Marines. But interesting enough, Stargate opening here from Hero on Babylon. Obviously makes sense with the low ground wall. You have a bit more safety there. And so the Stargate opening is just going to add on to that as the Adept. Actually, 2 Adepts trying to get information here. They should be able to see the starport, but not much else. They will stop any mining at the natural for the meantime. But obviously not going to find altogether that much damage. Phoenix is on the way, and it looks like we're in for a pretty stock standard game here. Reaper... not going to be discouraged by this Adept. Knows that it needs at least a few more shots to be taken down. Doesn't scout the Star or the Stargate, but I think Clem, looking around at what there is here, can probably inference pretty well that this isn't some sort of Twilight attack. But we'll see what his assumption is.
Getting a bit of poking done on the other side with those Adepts as well. Almost killing off the Hellion, but not quite yet. Those singular Hellions always can be a very dangerous threat all of a sudden in your natural mineral line. Especially when you're being, you know, distracted by Widow Mine drops in your main base. So it's nice that Clem manages to keep that alive, actually heals it up to full again. That's you know, the value that he puts in that unit right there.
Absolutely, and well, so far this has been a pretty calm opening, you know, nothing too crazy, obviously. I think both these players do respect each other enough to know that cheese might not be the best option. I mean, I know that the last time Hero and Clem actually faced off in a best of 5 was the Africa TV Champions Cup, and Hero did I think a 5-gate stalker attack in game 5 and ended up losing quite miserably. So obviously knows that Clem can defend those pretty well, doesn't want to risk that. Phoenix is completely shut down. That would have mind drop, and that's of course the strength of them. Raven coming on out. And you know, this is we've seen before.
He's trying so hard, man. He's gonna keep the Phoenix on the other side of the map for a little bit longer. That's something. Yeah. Right? It's the minimal amount of thing that you can... Well, actually, maybe the maximum amount of stuff you can still get out of that medevac right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we as I said, we saw the Raven being produced here. Obviously, in our previous series with Kira versus Zoun, we saw how fragile this Raven is, and so it's very dangerous to have it out. Obviously, the utility that it provides is great, but you need to keep it alive, and that's the tough part with the Phoenixes, especially with, I believe, Hero going up to 7, so he's going to be having a lot more DPS than just the usual 5. Stim, combat shields +1 on the way, and once again, Clem going for, you know, the Terran build that we've been seeing every Terran do, which is that 5 racks, very heavy barracks pressure.
Oh wow. Well, maybe it's not going to hit as quickly as we thought previously, because I believe most Marines did just die. Oh no! Okay.
Yeah.
Well then,
I mean,
the words
that
just
was
in. Clem's in a lot of trouble once again, boys. That's tough.
That was a Raven and 12 Marines there for 2 Phoenixes, which I think, yeah, you're pretty happy with as Hero. That's bad.
Yeah,
as a Terran player.
My man, I was about to go in about those Phoenix and saying, like, you know, that's an awful lot of Phoenix. Is he gonna be okay against the sheer volume amount of Marines that's going to be hitting him pretty soon? And then Like, he just finds a few of those detached Marines and he just goes for them. He just kills them, and yeah, it's just wonderful game knowledge about like what the threats to him are right now. Picking up some more units might even cause, again, Clem here to retreat, send all those units back into the main base. I'm not even sure if he wants to attack anymore, right after losing all those Marines. It's very scary to do.
Yeah, I mean, luckily for Clem, his plan was to take this third base anyway. So he has that up in good time in comparison to Hero's Nexus, which is only just now finished. So there's not going to be that much of a difference in the economy, especially with Clem right now being up about 10 workers. I mean,
that's really good, yeah.
Yeah, really, I think the reason why we saw Clem so far ahead in that last game was his macro. He had such a strong economy, was in such a good position, but look at
his
this
army
from
supply
Hero.
right now, though. It's 70 army supply versus 60, and a lot of that army supply for Clem still in the production as well. He's trying his best to see Siege targeted down, all the bio running away, but those two Colossi giving chase. They're not wasting any time shooting at SCVs or the command center for the time being. Hero knows what to do. He knows his priorities. Yeah, okay, we'll let them fall back a little bit. He wants to stay close enough to his reinforcements point, which is a gateway over here with the pylons. So he has those zealots now rushing in. His base, I mean, it's just going to have to evacuate it. Lose all those SCVs.
I mean, this is essentially all in. There's no worker production. Hero knows that this push, it's meant to kill your opponent, and he knows that it can as the Colossus are still firing away. Clem, he doesn't have anything like the tanks to anchor his position, to fire away at them from range. 20 SCVs go down. The natural base is now open. Hero's just going to dive on up, and yeah, this is brutal. Hero, I mean, a great execution, a great build choice, especially knowing that Clem, you know, really likes his third CCs. He really likes going up into it and says, all right, I'm going to do a build that just hits a little bit before you really have this massive bio account that's able to fight me. I'm just going to hit before that.
Also, just the fact that he had those Phoenix, right? And then he just kept building them up to a very high number.
Oh, surround?
No.
It's not enough. Is it enough?
No.
It's close.
Might push him back across the map, but no. Well, there's more units.
I mean, this is so close.
No, that Stalker's coming in.
The Marauders actually did so much work there. Managed to snipe away the Colossus from the high ground, get the second one, but now more and more Stalkers coming on in. Clem pushes a little bit too far out, and the Marauders, they do a lot of damage, but they're not able to fight one-on-one versus these Stalkers. But still, I think with that, Clem might have been able to hold on long enough that Hero has to kind of reassess this position. But I think the really big news is the command center was, I think it went down.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, Clem has to rebuild it.
If he kept that alive, yeah.
I mean, it was a good hold, but yeah, Clem obviously not going to be the most comfortable position. He lost that worker lead. And so now Hero from this point is just going to kind of rebuild. Well, not remax, but rebuild into a more comfortable position with the pro production, getting up probably to a 4th Nexus, and continuing to add on Colossus. I mean, I think I would like to see Disruptors. You know that Clem has a high Marauder count, and just from those reinforcements, you can kind of infer that, well, we know 3 tech labs there, but
yeah,
the Disruptor is obviously much better versus those beefy Marauders.
Yeah, I kind of want to go in again on like the overall strategy from here and how nicely everything kind of just worked together. Where he goes in with the Stargate to kind of open up. He defends very properly against the Widow Mines, but he kept making more and more Phoenix. And I was wondering, what is this all about? But Clem, knowing that there's Phoenix out on the maps, you have to split up your Marines, right? That's just what you do. You know that he can hit me from here, he can hit me from here. So I want Marines on both locations. So then Hero just coming in with this almost too big to really consider at that point fleet of Phoenix. It just takes out half of the Marine count. Just like that. And then after crippling Clem like that, that's when he comes in with such a heavy fireball of firepower with the 2 Colossi, all the gateway units, sacrificing pro production to make that hit even harder. And my goodness, it's terrifying to ever be facing something like this.
Yeah. And here we go again. I mean, Hero forces the lift off. Clem is, I think, it's just going to reposition to the other base. Sends out the drop. The Phoenix do. Oh, just managed to see it. Oh, Clem. This might just be disastrous. Hero's going to chase it down. The Phoenix, they're going to dive onto the medevacs. Pickups come through onto some Marauders. I think Clem can get out with most of this army. But I don't think you can fight this. Disruptors especially now being added on in. It was a good idea. You go across the map, you doom drop the main. Hero is forced to respawn, but it just barely got scouted out. Hero had some good army movement as now Marauders are fighting this, and the Marauders, they do good. I mean, they're so tanky, and they do a good job, but I don't know if it's going to be quite enough for Clem to take this fight, especially with those Disruptors now added on in. Vikings, though, doing a good job of knocking down the shields on that Colossus.
So let's not charging in there. They don't have charge yet. That's a big deal. Actually, probably the reason why Hero's kind of backing off there. It almost felt like he thought charge would be done as he moved forwards, realizing it wasn't, and then started backing up again. May give Clem a little bit of an opportunity here to keep on pushing further. But, oh man, it's army supply
God, he's going for it
quite
again.
close together.
Yeah, here we go again. Doom drop now from much closer. It's harder for Hero to respond. Does he have a recall? Doesn't have one in that main base. He's going to have to bring everything up, and now the Colossus there a bit exposed. Marauders stim on forward. Oh, but Clem, this might just be disastrous. The Phoenix on top of the medevacs. They're going to drop back on down, but the pickups come through the fourth base. There's nothing really mining here. 11 probes go down, but this base was just established, and Hero, if he's trading out this army, he knows he's ahead in economy. I think he's completely fine with it, as there's another counterattack coming on through. Going to try and move through the shield battery. Vikings drops, hits the ground. But a Hero, I think he just has enough that he can split his army and still deal with it.
Yeah, the overall supply really starting to leap in his favoritism there. And GG is called. Clem loses game number 2 as well. Still trying to give his absolute all there until the end. But just wasn't quite enough after taking quite a beating there. Quite a beating from those Phoenix. And then, well, all that stuff just running in afterwards.
All right. Bottom left-hand corner of altitude. It's a snow map. It's cold, it's shivering, and he's on his last life. Ladies and gentlemen from Team Liquid, the young Frenchman himself, it's Clem.
The top right side, the blue Protoss. In the top right, it is Hero. Up with 2 points right now on the board. Is it gonna happen again? Is it gonna happen again? It's gonna be a very short day this way.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Now, altitude, I want to mention the cool part. Obviously, you may all be able to see the gold bases in the middle of the map, but then you all might also see a Xel'Naga watchtower. And, what's that doing there? Well, the cool part about this map is that cooling tower obviously can be knocked down. And so to get this gold base, you have to knock down the cooling tower, which destroys the Xel'Naga tower, and then you clear up the debris. So it's a bit of an effort to actually get this gold base. It's not a map where you can just try and take it early, especially because this map is so wide open and just, you know, I mean, if you're just looking at it, there's so much open space, it makes it a little bit harder to just take that gold. Because obviously, without any high ground around it, it's very hard for an opponent to punish it if you were able to take it early.
It feels like a very small innovation that could lead to a lot of implications, right? Like, someone like Bly is going to have a lot more difficulty now using those gold bases. And this is kind of a way to secure that people only get to those gold bases later on in the game, rather than, you know, just explodes right off the gates when the game starts. That being said, who knows? Maybe someone is going to figure out, you know what, if I put my hatchery right next to the watchtower, it's still going to be better than a regular blue base. But, well, that's going to be the exciting part about seeing how this evolves.
Yep. We're heading on out now, and you know, I'm just gonna say it. I like the ice maps. I think it's one of the better tile sets that there is in this game. It's just, there's something so calming and comforting about it.
Yeah, I was looking at all the particles too, right? The snow. Very nice.
And you know, I might just be saying that as somebody who has lived in a very snowy place for most of my life, but hey, it makes me feel like home. I mean, a little bit icier than home. I don't live in like an ice age. I'm not.
That's been one that we've dealt with that one, that ice age.
Yeah.
It's been a few patches ago. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, we had.
All right, but yeah, no, I agree. I always like you hear people complain about like the overall brightness of these levels, but it looks like map makers are trying to dim in the brightness, right? Because this is kind of it's already pretty gray, and then it has like the white edges to kind of give it more of that snowy vibe. So yeah, there's some nice work going around trying to satisfy everyone here. It looks like.
Yeah, and visual clarity.
Yeah, people like snow. Right, it's a nice it's a nice view. I think a lot of people would agree with you there.
Oh, aw, dang. Clem tried to do the KD8 charge trick where you can knock your Reaper over a wall. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and the Adept will be able to catch it. So, not a lot of information here for Clem, which I don't think is going to be the worst. Obviously, right now it just seems like it's going to be a 3-gate Blink Stalker push, which obviously is not as threatening as something like a 4-gate, which you really do want to scout before it hits you. So as long as Clem does play kind of the safe style that he has been, I don't think he's going to have any trouble kind of being in a good position. But I do like how he's switching it up now and going for this 3 racks opening.
Yeah, I mean, he's on his last life here. He's going to have to make something happen. Personally, I would like to see him get a bit more aggressive. In game number 1, it felt like maybe he had an opportunity there with that hidden base. Game number 2, it felt like the problem there was that his units had to be split up in order to, you know, and then allowed those Phoenix to just, oh, there goes the camera, allow the Phoenix to just kind of make use of that situation. And I mean, if you're the one being aggressive, you're kind of stopping Hero from making those types of moves. That being said, I mean, if you get stumped there on the other side of the map, it's a very quick road and a slippery road as well, particularly on a map like this, to losing. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Because of the ice, it's slippery. You see, this is.
You got to be careful.
Yeah,
if you're not,
you have to be.
You know, the stalkers might slip mid-blink, and then they end up falling off the map.
Has anyone looked into this, Firebird? Are people aware?
The dangers of this map? Oh, man. It reminds me of, like, oh, what was it? You remember back during Shoutcraft Clan Wars, they had those really kind of creative maps, like Neo Rhapsody, that had a bunch of environmental effects and things. As much as, of course,
also did one of those compositions more recently, which was very fun still.
Yeah. I mean, those kind of maps are really awesome, and I wish we got to see more of them sometimes. But obviously, for consistent pro level play, you know, you don't want something like a massive gun in the middle of the map that is able to one-shot most things that come in range of it.
The pro players don't enjoy it that much when they lose because of I got shot by a big gun in the middle of the map. That I didn't quite know how it works. Yeah. It's a balance. It's a balance you got to strike, and it's always fun to see that development over the years, right? Like this, for example. It's very tiny, the debris with the watchtower, but like it makes sense to me. I see it. It's fun. It's creative. I'm hoping to see a lot of stuff happen with it, right?
Yeah, I'm interested to see here if Hero does actually destroy the cooling tower, if he just places the Nexus, as you said, next to that watchtower, because it's still just it's fine efficiency-wise, although. Oh, looks like Clem is not going to see that probe, so, but...
Salad run by here, trying to make some headway into the natural base, but does have enough units there to defend against it.
Oh, Hero's just going across the map, actually. This is his whole army. Charge lots are now ready. Hero on 3 bases is just going to be this gateway army, and with only 2 medevacs, you actually can't pick up all of these units, and Hero, again, just pulls out the aggressive play. Says, listen, I'm just going to attack you before you can attack me. I know that you want to kind of buy your time and build up to this army that you're comfortable with. That's what you did in game 1, and that one I had to win with a miracle engagement. I'm not going to let that happen again, and now look at this 74 army supply of Protoss. He cut workers at 56 after only saturating the mineral patches of his 3rd, and now Clem is in a world of trouble once again.
Yeah, trying to get all those SUVs stacked on top of each other, minimize the amount that Zealots can do. And his bio-infantry is just sitting there on top of that high ground, waiting to have their chance at the army of the Protoss. But even if they did, there's no chance this is going to go their way. There's just too much. Hero takes the 3rd victory in a row. Another clean sweep here today. It is what it is. It's we can't help ourselves. These guys are just so good sometimes. That is, you know, that kind of happens, right? That's, yeah.